Lutz, and I'm here with
Tank.
And we're here on the front lines, here on the battle against the deep state, the cabal, and all of those that wish to enslave all of humanity.
Yeah, or kill. I mean, slave or eliminate. Enslave or eliminate.
Chattelize us. But we are winning, as we can see that a very interesting development with Nancy Pelosi and Schiff heading off to Jordan. Why? Why would they be? It's impeachment time. Why would they fly to Jordan?
Sometimes I don't really understand how government works. I mean, is that how it works? Like, you just is that you just have you're the Speaker of the House and you're bringing impeachment, proceedings, and you're clearly batshit crazy, right? I mean, everybody knows this at this point, right? And then you got Adam Schiff, who is, leading fabricating a complete system to
in the dungeon underneath the Capitol.
right. Creating new laws to basically create illegal impeachment proceedings, right?
Yeah. So
and then we're all supposed to just be like, hey, stand down. We're not going to say anything about it. No.
Now,
let it go through.
Now, isn't Jordan a kingdom? I believe
there is the kingdom of Jordan. Yeah.
So they fly to a kingdom, Jordan, for some reason, right? And then Afghanistan. Obviously, this is the things that you must do during an impeachment.
Well, I don't know that Adam Schiff or Nancy Pelosi have been to the U.S. border, as far as I know. But they're willing to fly across the world, right? Because they're very concerned about that. Now, why would you be that concerned?
Yeah, what's there that they have to go and check out now? Remember, Nancy Pelosi was during the State of the Union when she was packing up 90-some members of her family onto Air Force planes and jetting off to Afghanistan for some reason. You always bring 90-some family members to Afghanistan whenever you're going on a vacation.
She was going to her ritualistic ceremony to become the Black Dragon, right, or whatever it was, and she was the Black Dragon named for that while. That's what she was on she was on a terror spree for a while there, right? It seemed like she had so much power, she was doing everything, right?
She was wearing. She had that staff of power, the Roman eagle on that brooch, right? And the eagle on the staff, which is what the Roman legions, when they would be going into battle, right? They had that one staff with them, right? That represented the power of Rome. And she was wearing that, right? So, yeah, she stopped wearing that, She even had it during the State of the Union. My wife bought me a new glass, for my tea. So, and I said, this is a beer mug, and everyone's going to think I'm drinking beer.
It's awesome. That is a good wife.
Yeah.
And that way, when you are drinking beer, you can say it's tea.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't mind saying I'm drinking beer, but it wouldn't be this color. I like dark beers, if I'm drinking.
Yes, of course.
I like the heavy duty. I like Guinnesson. It's a good stout beer. I like to add to my beer a shot of rum.
Shot of rum. I like a shot of Kahlua in my Guinness. It's called a chocolate shake.
Okay, I haven't tried that. Maybe that might be good to try out sometime.
It tastes just like a chocolate shake, actually.
Okay,
but
I can go along with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really drink beer anymore. I can't. If I drink straight liquor. That's it.
Yeah.
I like to know exactly what's in my drink. you know. So
Yeah, I guess I get that. Well, anyway, we kind of diverged a little bit. So let's let's go back to what's in Jordan. Anything we know about Jordan and regarding the.
well, yeah. So I used to speak to a oil trader and ambassador from that area when I was in the RV, right? And they were describing to me a supercomputer that existed there, and it was they believed it to be the quantum system, and it basically no one operated it, and it was just there, dormant, right? And then one day it started up, right? And it started to print out these numbers, right? So it was an AI system of some sort, right? And they thought maybe it was connected to the quantum system, and it printed out all these numbers, these obscene numbers about who was getting what and what money was going where, and everybody, it was all about the RV, right? And I'm sure that was like the Hercules data processing system, right? So I know that's there. I know they recently tried to reboot, Hercules, the Revenge of Hercules Part 3 in Reno. So I'm sure that, there's something there that Schiff and Pelosi are there to oversee that and also to reconnect with the NATO military. I mean, the NATO military and the UN military are both the Rothschild military, right? So because we know that the UN has been, I don't know how they sneak on a railroad track, but they've been bringing in massive amounts of military equipment into the United States.
Right.
I'm sure that, they're there to get an update on the report. Actually, for them to travel out of the country is actually a little scary when you think about it, because the last time that Nancy Pelosi went to leave, she had made arrangements that while she was out of town, she was going to blow up the Capitol, right? So that's, it makes you wonder, watch your six, you know what I'm saying? Like, no telling what their Pelosi bag of bones had in mind.
Yeah, so obviously things are not working out for them. And now I was, for me, that's a good thing, right? Considering we're waiting for, the movement of the funds into the people's accounts, right? And your account and project accounts and things of that matter. So it seems to me that there has to be, a certain point where everyone who's been preventing that from happening kind of just stops doing it all at the same time. Because of what, right? Because they've lost that piece, right? They're no longer able to believe in the direction they're going is going to work, and the other side is one. So Nancy Pelosi and Schiff leaving, right, to go to Jordan. Now I thought, I don't know. I have no idea. I know nothing about Jordan. I have no idea if there's a cabal base there. Right? I can just imagine that there is. Just like, there was cabal bases in North Korea and Iran, that they had things set up for them as, destruction rained down around the world, Did
you plan that? How did you do that? That was amazing, man. Listen, be very careful what you say today. You're obviously willing things into existence. So please,
I know.
Be careful.
Yeah. That was my cat jumping up onto the top of the doorway to grab at a lizard, right? And then she started chasing it around on the door.
There's some principle there, right?
Yeah. I was just about to say, hey, don't stop someone's force of will from being used.
Powerful, man. Powerful. Don't mess around.
Yeah. Well, it's a cat and mouse game or a cat and lizard game, that's going on. So we have the Pelosi and Schiff.
Oh, the pun I could go with a cat and lizard run right now. Oh boy.
Go for it.
All right, so the evils of the reptilian race, the cat-holic church, and who's chasing who? Sorry, I'll just stop there.
Well, that's good enough. I didn't know where you were going with it, but I like it.
Yeah.
Well, they say think outside the box. Every once in a while, I like to live outside the box.
Well, I'm surrounded by cats and lizards. So,
I don't know, man. I think there's good cat people. What do they call Lyrians or whatever they're.
Oh yeah.
There's got to be good ones.
Humanoids or something like that.
What's that? Oh yeah, anyway, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
humanoids or something like that.
Well, even
Yeah,
in,
no,
even in
I've had some
the
experiences with them.
you know, I look at Stargate SG-1, right, and that is a storyline, right, to tell what really has happened in the world. So you had in the bad reptilians, right, that were there, that they had a good sect of them, right, that was fighting for the humanity. I believe that that's also possible, right, that there's a good reptilian out there. That's,
No, there is. There's actually there's a from what I hear. I don't know if I'd say good or bad. Just they're not hostile towards humans, from what I hear.
right.
Or at least I've heard people
Well,
who met them.
their take on things was symbiotic relationship, right? Because they still needed them. They were still a parasite, right? But as a parasite, they were in a symbiotic, beneficial relationship, right? As a person, parasites are, part of nature, right? So it's you recognize that exists there in the world. But if there's a symbiotic relationship, is that an okay? I don't want a parasite, but some people say, yeah, sign me up for that one. I like the extra vitamins. I don't know. whatever they're providing. But
Like a more positive addition to that kind of change, the old draconian king was one of evil and not friendly to humans or anybody, any form of life. He enslaved and controlled. Whereas the I think quite recent Draco Queen, it's the exact opposite. So we finally got, again, another form of galactic saying, yes, we're on board, no more enslavement, this has got to stop.
Oh, good. Well,
yeah,
let's
I would make an argument on that.
Yeah, let's bring it back around to Jordan for a moment, right? Because
Exactly.
I want to kind of, I'm really wondering what is in Jordan, because I just noticed that that's a kingdom, and when I look at the world and where things are, have existed for millennium, is all about kingdoms. The aspect of democracies and stuff spreading around the world, it seems to me to be more of like a sub-government of the monarchies, right? And that's the way I look at it. And the monarchies just kind of hang out in the background, pulling strings, right? Now, not getting into the reptilian and all the rest of that side of it, but just looking at from that standpoint of that they own the land, they own all the things, and from that standpoint, that's the impression. I'm not saying that's not on the trust, but from the impression of the people, that the monarchies are really still there pulling strings and make things happen, but they don't do what they used to do, right? But they are, which is wage war amongst each other for resources. Now they make the sub-governments do that, right? And now we have Trump, which has been the U.S. has been the military muscle of this system, now saying, no, we're not going to be doing this anymore, and changing things, right? And so I'm glad, and I know the people getting out of the Paris Climate Accords is like the dividing line to say what side you're on, right? That's a good thing. We got 54 nations that have opted out of that now?
I'm sure there's more, but the number that President Trump mentioned with the alliance forming was 55.
55. Okay, 55. So we're lining these things up. So, but we have Pelosi and Schiff taking off, stopping, what they're doing in the impeachment, right? Which is a daily event, right? Boom, boom, boom. And taking off and going to Jordan and Afghanistan. But what are they doing there? So they're checking out, a quantum system, a computer, all right, right? But what, is there any part of the monarchy that has to play in this power system, right? I'm just wondering, is that really one of the cabal hangouts? I mean, what does Jordan have to do with, the flipping of the world?
you know what? I really think that they were summoned there by potentially the Draconian Queen. I wish Tui was here to ask that question.
Tui is here. Tui is here. He's
See,
on.
I can manifest stuff into existence too, Dan.
There
That's
you
what I'm
go.
saying.
Yeah. Hey, Tui.
Tui,
That's what
what's
I
going
was
on?
saying yesterday. Everybody can, man.
Yeah, and what's going on, Tui?
Sorry, just something into the conversation. I heard you guys talk about the Draconian thing and stuff. But yeah, I just want to say, greetings and welcome to everyone that's in the show today. Thank you, Dan and Andrew. It's it's a blessing to be here joining here and have a discussion another day in Frontline and also in this gym. So if I just jumped in. I didn't know what you guys were talking about. Maybe in a few minutes to the discussion, then I would love to actually join in.
Well, let me just ask you directly then, Tui. What goes on in Jordan, the country of Jordan? Why did Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff both decide to stop what they're doing in impeachment and go to Jordan and Afghanistan? But Jordan is more interesting for me. Why would they go there? I don't know if you have an answer, but it's
Is there something special there to it? I mean, I was talking about what I was mentioning to before was that I know when I was heavily in the RV, I was talking to an oil trader and an ambassador from Jordan, and I knew that there was what they said was a quantum system, like one of the operating servers there for the quantum financial system, and all of a sudden they just started printing up numbers one day, and like it never moved, and all of a sudden they started printing out, and then they had all the data and where everything was, and they thought it was the start. So I'm like, wow, there must be a heavy financial center there. But is there, I'm also curious.
I guess the discussion that everyone is having right now is to do with sovereignty of every person or people of the planet. And so this has to do with, before this current system that we're familiar to right now, we had what you guys were just talking about, the monarchs. And so there are some still old agreements that are still standing that would need to be changed and need to be revalued. And so there are some of these, monarchs that are still existing today. There's an example there in Jordan. And Jordan is it's like what David mentioned, is a kingdom. And the issue right now on the planet is to return and decentralize the sovereignty of the planet to every, especially to the people first. And now the whole civilization are focusing on us right now and our development on the planet. There are ways to actually diffuse some of the old agreements that has been laid there for hundreds, thousands, and then there are multi levels of agreements that have been on legally in the past. So I guess this is just actually just part of the change that we are all facing from the different parts of the planet that we are from. In the Pacific and all the awareness that we're doing, and to try and find a peaceful transition from the old illusion to creating a new one. And so basically, we're trying to follow. We're trying to make people understand how to do it in a legal, not law, but legal. And so we're working together with the chiefs and the other tribes in New Zealand, Australia, and Hawaii. And soon we'll be doing the same thing on this side of the planet. And I think, I feel that they wish just to do the same thing with Nancy Pelosi and all this, the sudden change of traveling. As you all know, they're running out of options. Their reality is breaking down. People of the planet, when it's time to free, or when it's time, or when the planet's, when the planet needs to be free, it will free itself, and everyone will just adapt. On the planet will just adapt the way it's just supposed to. So whether they will learn that in a hard way or in a way that that is beneficial to everyone. But some of these secret secret agreements that has been done in the past, it needs to be resolved, and so all this needs to be resolved. And as you were talking about the tank, the last time that we spoke, is that about 6 months has been it's like a probability of 6 months that we have. That Draco Queen, and now it's good that we have a feminine expression, or the feminine being that actually is involved with the Draco, and is actually born to be able to get this concession for all these agreements that have been done in the past for thousands of years, and to set everything straight up and back to the original plan. And that's the problem that what we're having right now, the central banks and the United Nations, because it was formed for this particular reason. It was formed for the betterment of humanity, but they forgot, and somehow they forgot that down the line. So this is just trying to get just the high self for everyone, trying to get back the alignment to the original plan. And so this has been part of the prophecy. It has been part of the storyline. I was talking about Moses on the other time. The change in Pharaoh's heart in the last minute. When it's time to free humanity and the lesson is learned, everything will be just aligned in that manner. So, there's a lot of things that they're going to do. They're going to be doing. It's going to make sense a little bit in the future. Why they do that, and as everyone knows, right now, even KMPD, we are facing the same thing. The transition from all civilization to everyone being be able to be sovereign, and whatever level that may be. I'm just thankful that Kim she has done what she's done about how everything is working together with the lessons that need to be learned. And now Trump, we had our Attorney General leading or chairing the IMF and the World Bank group meeting, and all they're talking about, it's almost they're just trying to accuse Trump on the economic problems that we're having right now and the economic crisis of the planet. And so it's just good to see that Trump is it looks like he's the one. It's almost like they are not used to be not in control, and Trump is actually now in control, and just by organizing his agreements with his trade agreements and all this is affecting the current banking system, as they say. But we know in this group we all know that what Kim did was exactly the result of what we're having right now and the change that is happening right now on the planet. So we're working very hard to try and make our government understand it, and hopefully they will understand it sooner. But and then we'll be able to transit and change the whole nation and get everyone in a sovereign state. Especially through awareness, and then change the whole structure of government and repurpose the whole government. So we don't need to have that system anymore. We can just control and regulate our own economy and regulate our own money according to needs and the market needs here, locally, and then no one has to suffer or no one has to go through all the hardships that they have to go through, and we'll be able to provide for all the shelter, the travel, the vehicles, or everyone. And we just need to work together and understand that we have the power to do it. So I think all these things that they're doing is just part of this change that everyone is experiencing. And yeah, so right now, I think we'll wait and see what's the true reason that they went down there, and we can speculate. But the answer to that is just this time is changing. And whatever part of the planet you may be, or whatever country that you may be on the planet, everyone is experiencing the same change. So yeah, it's a bit about from me from TV.
Right.
Well,
That was beautiful.
yes, thanks, Tui. Well, it was good timing because Tank had just said that I wish Tui was on to ask him about the Draco Queen, the new Draco Queen. And so that's how then you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, again, I saw him on there. I don't want to see Big Mike.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
Because your mic went mute for a second, and then you pop back on, and then suddenly, oh, here's Tui.
Well, I was lining up. I was showing the Jordan map on the screen also, or I'm doing a couple other things, so I'm not always looking at the screen here. So, well, whatever is going on in Jordan or in Afghanistan, it's unusual to see that Nancy and Schiff. I mean, the two of them, right? The two of them have to go on this little vacation together.
I smell handlers calling their puppets home. Sorry to be so frank.
Yeah,
Not only that, I also smell it just being a big old distraction, considering how epic both of these folks have failed here in the States.
Oh yeah.
Well, Tui,
I love it, brother.
Tui, my understanding is that the Harvest Moon Festival, where they would normally, be celebrating with, sacrificing babies and things of that nature, that all the festivities were called off, and they were expecting, some kind of direction from their draconian leader. Basically, when it came down, it was like, no, stop everything you're doing. The Earth is no longer on a path to destruction. So abort your mission. So at this point, for them to continue on, they're, defying the highest authority that they know of, right? And that they worship. And I'm sure that there has to be some level of fear that they're like, what do you do now?
Yeah. Funny you talked about it. I know you actually talked about it earlier. The thing that is so amazing about this change is just that it takes generation for what we're experiencing right now to happen. But right now, it's just happening within a 10-year period, and it's all these changes, the changes are coming in so fast, and some of them are so used to the way they do things in the past, and they can't believe that it just suddenly changed in this short period of time. A lot of times, Tank, you talk about how Kim and how you guys have done this, and it takes them thousands of years to create the structure that we have, and it just take you, just 2 to 3 years, 4 years now to actually dismantle everything. So it's understandable that so many of them are still trying to grasp the change that's happening, and that's where the Confederacy comes in. We are here to just express that frequency of everyone. Everyone is a victim at this stage. Even they themselves are also victims of for the lessons that we're all learning. And it's just it's whatever lesson that we choose to learn, whether we destroy each other, whether we fight till the end, or whether we try to teach each other, and then some of them can actually learn from some people that have already been in a already gone through the lesson and already what I would call a three-dimensional awareness. And so whether from the state, whether it takes time for a lot of people, for example here, our government right now is still trying to dress the change. Because within a year, last year it was all doing well, all the economy was good, and the reality, the money that they take every day, the luxury kind of life that they have, and then now, just within a month, 2-3 months, they already facing the problem, and they can't believe the reality that's kind of crumbling down around them, and it's always good. I always tell the elders that no, we have to give them time. We have to try and make them wait. Just if you maybe a lot of them would be able to learn faster or be able to change and get a change of heart and then learn to work together with everyone. And so but there's always a point in time that that won't happen. I mean, the door will be closed in a sense. And then it will be still. And so we are happy, right at this moment, this time, that that the door is still open for those guys. And since you said about the 6 months that we have left, there is a probability of 6 months that the door will be still be open. And hopefully, just right now in the last minute, I'm looking at a window of from 2017 to 2025. That window, that last moment that this the people with the old agenda will be able to change. So that's really what the peace treaty is all about. It's to see all these things that has to come to pass, and the breakdown of the central banking system, and the changing and the revolution of the illusion of how we have our what has been backing the fiat currency that's been introduced all over the planet and to every nation, and then how it's going to crumble down, and then how it changes, and how the people can learn, everyone can learn from that and create a new one. And maybe we'll move back to how money was treated before, silver and gold standard, and the agreement of the value of gold. I told the chiefs we'll try in Fiji, because it's a small country, we'll try and set an example where we will try, we will get a treasury, we'll form the treasury, and no longer we'll be relying on our reserve bank, and then we'll we'll get the sovereignty and awareness of it, and the spiritual awareness is the most important part of it. And so it is changes people from within, and then sovereignty that they learn, or the legal, or the paperwork, and the process can, just be part of, part of it in a physical change outside. And then we'll be able to reveal everyone and get everyone in a country, and then setting that example to the rest of the Pacific Island and maybe to the rest of the world, where where no longer you should be acquiring loans for your house, for your vehicles, and all this, but just be provided to you because of the what you represent, which is the fifth element, or which is the essence of the creator that everyone truly is. So that's a transition that we are trying to do here in Fiji. We are going on to live it, and there are so many stuff. I was talking to about 200 people on Thursday last week, and the awareness is so amazing. A lot of all of them they fully understand how to go about it. How to be able to get to revoke that physical agreement that they've done, which their parents the parents have been they unknowingly giving to the trust, or to the creating the trust when they were born, and they know how to restructure that. Because I told them we can create all new one. But there's so many people that are still in the old system and in the old way of thinking. if we do that, then we'll just create a lot of friction, and we can fight against that, and we can just hurt each other because there's a lot of them that don't know anything about what we know right now, and that's one of the most important things that I see. For example, if Nancy Pelosi and all them, they would understand truly how the world has been run and how it has to change, and they have all this awareness. Even here in some of our government leaders, if they understand what we're doing right now and what we're talking about right now, it will just be a smooth transition. So it's a challenge for us here as being part of the group that's already a little bit ahead of everyone. And then we'll just try and get everyone and implement or maybe share the knowledge slowly until everyone can come together and everyone has the same level of awareness, and we can just change our reality together. So that's basically the reason why I'm very thankful that that Trump is doing what he's doing, proving to the world that just one person and one decision can eliminate the control that these people are having, and coming to in effect together with what Kim has done, taking the money out of the picture. It makes it even more faster now. And a lot of them, they still don't understand what the trust is and how money works and how money is created. It's going to take a lot of time for them to learn, maybe in the hard way. And so, that's the reason, you see the IMF and all the reporting, they're just trying to make excuse of what's happening right now on the planet, especially to economic crisis. So that's their role, of the IMF and the World Bank, to actually manage the economy of the planet and to balance or to control a little bit here the flow of money, the flow of the markets, and then we have the Fed. And now that King has taken that all away and all the power from them revoking their license, they have to come up with excuse because they don't understand the change that's happening right now. And and I'm thankful that we have the shows like these, shows like what you guys are talking about every day. These are all these are all red pills, and so I'm thankful that we're able to have a platform like this that we can discuss, and hopefully soon they'll be able to get that awareness as well, and we can change this planet together so easily and quickly. And the process, basically the process is yes, sir, go ahead.
So this event happened here in the U.S., and I think it speaks to your point, right? So I want to show you this video, okay? So this speaks to the point of a new age, in my opinion, of really a profound experience. I mean, to me, it was profound because there was this shooter who came into a school, kid came into school with a gun. And I want you to, and this is what happened, I want you to see, this is the gym teacher, how he handled it, okay? I think
Their heads up, Tank. This one actually made me feel like a real sense of warmness and brought tears to my eyes, man. A real act of selflessness.
Oh, man. Hey, Dan, did you cue that up? Because it won't let me play it.
Oh, it won't let you play? Okay, let me,
Yeah.
give me a minute. Oh.
And your mic is muted.
Yeah, sorry. Give me a minute. I'll just see if it's done downloading, and I'll have to make a screen for it. So.
Yeah, Andrew, it brought a tear to my eye too. Because the mainstream mockery, the joke that everyone looks to for the news. They would never report on something like this, right?
Yeah, it really made me have some pride as a human being. Sorry, I just kind of had that. I felt that welling up in me as you were talking about.
Yeah, man, me too. I actually we did a show today and we brought it up, and I want to give credit to the teacher out there, the guy who did it, if that's okay with him. But it's such a profound experience because these things go the other way all the time. So to see it go this way to me it speaks to what Tui's talking about, right? That we don't have to settle these conflicts with war anymore, right? There's a way to connect with people
Yeah, why not hug it out, man? One of y'all said that one of these videos. Hug it out, just hug it out.
Let's hug it out. I know. We'll see though. Yeah, it's able to pull it up.
Yep, I'm here. Okay, I'm ready, but
No pressure, man. No pressure. Sorry.
You're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to see it though. I'll be able to play it.
I can't even let me play.
Yeah, I got it. Just
Algorithm's acting up.
okay. Here, I'm going to play it now, but you're not going to see it.
Okay, no problem.
There we go. Yeah, that is very touching. It's a hug it out.
I just wanted to say that is beautiful.
It's amazing. I mean, and you could tell it. She just wasn't letting him, go. She just kept hugging him. So sometimes you just need a hug. That's all it is. Sometimes you just need a hug.
What's going on here?
All right, you're back. I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Good.
Yeah, but that's good. It's the best possible outcome after something like that starts. So for her to be so brave, when we don't know what happened inside that classroom, or that it was a gym. You said it was a gym teacher. So.
I think he walked into the school with a gun, so they knew he was in the school with a gun, and he went into the gym teacher's office. And that's where he was. He was walking into the gym teacher's office, and the gym teacher just diffused him.
Able to back him out of the office.
I mean, it's the invisible man syndrome, right? One of the things that with all these connections we have to our cell phones and our computer devices, televisions, our think boxes, right? They tell us what to think and what's cool, what's popular, what looks good, what doesn't, all these different ways. If you're someone who's thinking, you could definitely find yourself completely isolated and just feel totally alone. And to have a teacher in that moment, step up and completely change your life. Because you got to think now, the same kid who, would have been just like, most of these things, they end in like the death of the shooter, right? Or imprisonment at the very least, right? What's that?
Yeah, I was just saying, they end very badly. I just said that there was a guy.
Time they don't end well.
Yeah, I have on the screen. I put it back up, and I'm just scrolling back and forth. When he first came in with the gun, there was a guy in the hall that turned around and ran away. And when she started hugging him, right, this guy came back and took the gun from him while he was hugging.
Right, because that's the teacher. That's the gym teacher.
That's a gym teacher.
Yeah, the guy with the hat on is the gym teacher.
I
And so what he did is he had already taken the gun from the kid. Now they knew the kid was there, so when the guy came around the corner, all he saw was the gun. Right, so he ran away, and then he looked, and the gym teacher was there with the gun, going, "Come get the gun, so I can take care of the kid," you know. And then he was just embracing him, talking to him, connecting with him until the cops got there. I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah, I think that actually might have been a young female student that the gym coach was trying to help, because the angles look odd. I don't know. It's something I noticed as well.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but we'll see. Could he? You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't, maybe, but I don't know if it's relevant. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The point is that, you know, clearly when a school shooting doesn't happen, you know, you'd say, well, it's not news, but that is news. I mean, that is new. That is important. That is a witness to what humanity is and has the potential and is becoming, right? And it's also a witness to me of what is going to be necessary as we go into this next stage, because you're witnessing it right now in the U.S. politics, as it just appears that you have just a complete lack of a sense of reality that's taking place, right? They keep touting the greatness of all these different ridiculous concepts that all lead to, you know, infertility and genocide and the, you know, destruction of the human race. Right, and it's based on ignorance and false facts, false histories, a false sense of who we are, a false sense of what is dangerous and what is not. You know, what is the biggest danger right now in all the world is ignorance and indifference, right? And those are things that, you know, we all have to kind of take personal responsibility for, right? You can't just, it's like all of us have to realize that, because, you know, I've watched this with the vaccines. It's incredible how much information is available. It's everywhere. Now, at some point, that conversation has got to escalate to all of us can see the facts laid out in front of us, right? There's no interpretation necessary. You know, we spoke with a microbiologist today who, you know, spent the better part of 20 years in the pharmaceutical specialty industry and, you know, working on those things, identifying different components. And in that, she described how there is a product called polysorbate 80, and it's actually used in cancer medications, right, to allow, to open up the doorway to, you know, to allow access through the blood-brain barrier, right? And how this polysorbate 80 is doing the same thing in the vaccines. And it opens it up to allow the aluminum, right, the different heavy metals, I think mercury is there as well, to access the brain and cause almost instantaneous brain damage. And then the frequencies being let out, added with the 5G, are also tapping into that same frequency and causing further damage, right? So the question now, they know this. Pharmaceutical companies, they specialize in taking a molecule and then giving it superpowers, basically, right? Making one molecule superpowered, and they understand the mechanism of action, right? They're able to examine this on a very, you know, microscopic level. So they know it does that. Now here's this microbiologist who is definitely, she has experience. She spent 20 years in the industry doing this. And she's telling us that's exactly what it does, and it fries the brain, right? So it kills off portions of the brain. It, you know, immediately when a child is in their most essential, fastest developmental years, I mean, like months even, you know, and describe that now. That is not a fact that anyone can deny. You don't get to just pretend that's not real because it's not comfortable, right? You don't get to pretend that's not real because the mainstream media isn't talking about it. That is scientific fact with real studies done on it. Now, furthermore, the other facts are they just bring these things to market and there's no judgment. She talked about how within 8 days of introducing a vaccine, they bring it to market. That's amazing. Most drugs take 13 years to bring to market because they have to do clinical testing, double-blind tests, and even then, I mean, they're corrupt, right? But it takes them that long to spin the data and whatever. But vaccines, they just, because they saw the need to introduce diseases that are profitable, right? Like leukemia. So the leukemia virus is entered into vaccines because cancer is the most profitable disease state for the medical industry in the West. So it's an economic move with complete disregard for human life. Now, the fact that that exists, the fact that that's happening, there has to be a stance from the people. There has to be a stand that says, wait, we're all looking at the same thing now. The problem is we don't usually look at the same thing. And if you take things into an admiralty court, the judges just decide, okay, you can't show this, right? But it's ridiculous that you have to show this. That's why we're entering everything through the court of records. And when you enter into the court of records, the court has to acknowledge it. And once that stuff's in there, it's like you can't deny it anymore. It's like, how are you justifying that this is okay? And what it comes down to is, what is the intention? Now, here is where complete faith and trust in the government, or at very least the judicial system, has the potential to collapse and could have negative outcomes if it's not, if the right thing is not done. Because what it comes down to is, you have to see, is this intentional, right? Is this premeditated? In other words, they knew exactly what they were doing, and they continued to do it anyways. And I saw the interview today with the like the godfather of vaccines, and they were talking about taking a complete human genome and putting it, and cutting up the parts of it and masticating it into substance, into plasma substance, and of 76 fetuses they put in the MMR vaccine. So things like that are a reality that at some point we don't get to just this isn't just going to transition without any hard truths, right? It doesn't get to just transition. You're like, okay, everything's just different, but we all accept it. We have to face the fact that there has been a global genocide plan. We just have to, because there's no way for humanity to ever really press forward with any kind of reasonable discernment if they don't realize that that's what's been happening. In my personal opinion.
Indeed. Yeah, it just got me thinking. When you're talking about vaccines and cancers, and I came across the food supplements a few months ago. When I was moving around, just moving around the villages around the islands in Fiji, and because I'm a contractor and I do real land, and I like to help people really learn about how the physical body is intelligent and how it can heal itself, just like humanity, how we are intelligent and how we can heal ourselves and how we can change the reality. Our body is also the same thing. And just because we've been, we've been so separated from our body, we've forgotten that that's how special all the different cells in the body is. And I came across I'm very thankful that I came across a supplement, food supplement. It's called C24/7, and it has all the vitamins and the minerals and the enzymes and even the fatty acids and even the oil that your body needs. And because I've been doing chiropractic adjustment for almost 3 to 5 years now, and to help people. I'm able to actually help them in a few days, but then it has to their lifestyle has to change. What they eat, especially the nutrition and the diet that they have. And these supplements that I came across, I was able to everything that I needed them to do, and it's manufactured in the U.S. and they've been since 2006. And people, if you have people with Alzheimer's, cancer. Almost even I was given it to people with Parkinson's, they were able to regenerate cells back, and now they changed. Within 2 weeks, they are so much different and so much normal now. Even the cancer. I've had 3 people that were able to regenerate themselves with that supplement. And it would be really good if everyone on the show just take a look at it online and see how available it is to everyone. It's really it's amazing that they have all this nutrition technology already on the market, and there's no one actually focusing on that. And they're coming up with different different ways to try and actually change the symptoms of everything. And the body can, if you supply nutrition and everything that the body needs, it will be able to, the body will just regenerate itself. And it's a very big lesson for everyone that they don't need anything outside. They just need to, have a proper relationship with the living things around them. And that they will learn to understand that the living around, they need the living things around them to be able to balance the body and then to keep the body in an optimum, optimum state. And the immune system will be able to, do everything for in itself. And so, I've been there's all sorts of diseases. You have diabetes, all the different types of diabetes, all the different types of imbalances that the immune system couldn't work on. They were able to fix themselves when I give them, when they were able, when they took these simple supplement tablets that, and now right now when I move around, I always recommend that to them. Because it's not just, it doesn't help them. I tell them that, the pills are not, it's not alive, it's not aware. The body is the most intelligent thing that the body is very intelligent. It knows what it can do with the right nutrition when you provide it, when you take it in. So anyone now they recommend it to every patient that has cancer, and they can see the change within a few days. They can see the change within the skin. They can see the change within the life force. The cell just automatically comes to life. And I told them that it's not the tablet that's doing it. It's just your body when it's supplied with the proper everything that it needs, whatever level that may be. The body is very intelligent, and it will know how to actually regenerate itself. And that's looking at it in a very high perspective. That's what's happening right now on our planet. We are intelligent enough to change the reality that we are the slave system that we had, and we're gonna be able to regenerate ourselves in that manner. It's no longer trying to fight or trying to destroy each other, and that's what the old way of thinking is. You come in and try and destroy everything. You chemotherapy and all these things that it just destroys the cells of the body, and then it takes a lot of time to regenerate or to get it recuperated and into a healthy state. But if you just let the body, if we can just think and we change from within us, we learn out of his lessons, individually on our own body. And I would like people, if you have whatever kind of imbalances that you might have, people on the show right now, you can take don't take my advice. I'm not here to just advertise or talk about that or to be just through experience for the past few months and the way people's life has been changed and the way they've been better. You have asthma, whatever, you have problems with your lungs, with your kidneys, with whatever part of the body. The supplement supplies all the different nutrition and the enzymes, especially the enzymes that's very important to your gut, for the health of your gut, to be able to have the body absorb nutrition so that you'll be able to, whatever you eat will be, you'll be able to take in the nutrition because of all the enzymes that enable you to digest them. And so that's one of the biggest problems that the kids now have because of their lifestyle and the way they eat, especially there in the U.S. And it's leading to all these different problems. Where you have all the different different imbalances that has been happening, and then people try to look to drugs to try and try to solve it, but then drugs just it just has much more side effects than just if you can just let your body heal itself and regenerate itself. And it's amazing that once people take this drug in, once the physical body is better, even the spiritual aspect of the person is changed, and the way we see life has changed also. And I see them, and when they're not just healthy, they're also very optimistic about life. It changed. They're not just different, totally a different a different person. That when we see them when they're balanced. So it just shows a relationship between our physical body and the spiritual energy within us, and how the spiritual energy is expressed when the physical part of us is balanced. And I guess that's it's a very big lesson for everyone individually. And now that they're able to learn to regenerate themselves, they thank me, and I said, no, don't thank me. You thank yourself for for looking after yourself, and then changing their lifestyle. They start training. They start working on the problems that they had before to try and change. And so it's a very big lesson, and looking at what we're having right now and how collectively the human race on the planet that the change that we used to be in a state of war in the past. Now it's we're gonna try and change it, and I'm thankful to watching what Trump is doing. And it's so funny that when Trump when he takes he tries to remove the troops from Syria, and everyone don't want it. They still want to keep fighting, and that shows the mentality and the mindset that is on this trend and resident on the planet right now. And it's good, that video shows, shows the videos that you just played. It shows a lot of the need of the problem of separation that has been prevalent in the planet. We separated ourselves from one another, competing about what we learn, competing about life, competing about competition everywhere that we go through, and we don't see the connection between us as expression of the life force that we need to get connected and to live in this planet together, and that's the state of awareness that we have to change. And I'm thankful that that's happening. That we are doing that. How Dan for just talking about it, the what you call this lone syndrome that you guys have. In Fiji, it's a little different because everyone here knows everyone. We can we can go to one part of Fiji and we feel where there's still a lot of unity or connectedness within the people. I know it's different in the U.S. where there's a lot of separation, a lot of competition, where every person is seen as always a competitor. And that's survival of the fittest. That's the mindset that we're going to try and change, and we are changing. And that's the reality that's breaking down right now. And now that that's why the sovereignty of everyone on the planet is so important to understand. And then that's why I'm thankful to a show like this that we can discuss such topics, and it would help people, help those who are learning, or those who are in the same moment now with us to really see and realize the same kind of values that we discuss, and we can actually change from whatever part of the planet that we may be living or we may be listening from. And I'm very hopeful for the future and looking forward to that new reality that we will create together.
Well,
Man, that rooster.
That rooster is Tui's hype man. You know, he gets the crowd going in the background. He's like, "That's right." He's like, "That's my dog, Tui." What?
Yeah, Dan, you should look that up because they distribute that C347 in the Philippines. If Dan is, yeah.
I'm here,
So,
but I didn't quite hear what you said about the rooster with the Philippines. What was that again?
No, I was talking about the C347, the supplement that I was just talking about and changing people's lives over here. And so, it's been curing cancers and it's been doing all the amazing things that, scientists are trying to know all over the planet right now, trying to find a cure for cancer. But the cure for cancer is just, just balance your body. Your body will just balance itself.
Yeah.
You don't need to think for your body. The body is intelligent, and it just shows, the separation is very, very, separation of awareness of who we truly are and how amazing our body is. So
Well,
yeah,
I hear
the
I hear the cure for cancer is rooster soup.
I have about more than 10 roosters around here in the farm.
They're all in competition with one another.
Yes.
I can hear them going back and forth.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that's you have that on the screen. That's it. C24/7 natural. Yeah.
Maybe I should have this this company for a sponsor. It'd be good to have because we're doing commercials.
As soon as the fund comes in, maybe you can look at some of the diseases that it can, the 100 diseases that it can, that is cured, if you can find them.
Well, it's up on screen right now, so we are showing it. So, but I don't, but not all the diseases, but we're showing the product.
You can type maybe 100 users of C24/7. 100 users.
Yeah, I see something here. Maybe it's those of us on the call, but it looks like, if I might actually say this, it's the website from what I see on Dr. Eduardo, whoever this guy is, whoever that is screen sharing, but yeah. Anywho, maybe that's, let me, I'm muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. So, anyway, we can get, some of this to try out. I don't know if it should be available here too. And I don't know. Is it set up as a network marketing company that I can use it to make some money?
The focus on the company is a business it's a business focus where they try to do it with the structure of a business where you get people to sell for you and you sell and then you become level. But
whoever wants to buy this from me, sign up. Just contact me, and then I'll start the ball rolling here.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I caught a brief look at the long, beautiful list of ingredients that really does. Again, I'm into health, fitness, nutrition. I'm an ex-bodybuilder. I love the idea of taking fitness and adapting it as you get older for functionability, reduction of inflammation of joints. Like basically, how do you reverse your own body's aging through health and organic meat?
Yes. So, it's funny because we're just talking about the supplement and it has all those, egg reversal, that helps the cell, that helps the chromosomes of your body, that might reverse the way you look. And if you can take it, and it's like it's an all-in-one supplement that everyone can take. And it just, just basically just you helping your body balance itself, and whatever load or whatever work you use the body to you go through, the body will be able to handle it because it's fully balanced. And if you look at that supplement and you see, and what really amazes me is that it's been here since 2006. That's more than how many years ago now? 14 years, almost 13 years. And people, they don't fight, they don't talk about it because they don't see, they want a cure that it is a drug, that's specifically for a disease or for an imbalance of the body, but they don't understand, that they always forget how intelligent the body is. And that's the most the point that I wanted to drive today. We are intelligent. The body is intelligent. Everything on the planet is intelligent. We just need to understand how they work and get it back into balance. So we've been in balance for a long time.
Tui, this is my what I simplify that in the body.
Sorry about that. I loaded their website and just started playing music.
In the body, there are three things that cause all disease, right? And it is always some kind of blockage, which usually leads to some kind of inflammation, which will always lead to, and then what happens is the body doesn't have, it's suffering from malnutrition, so it doesn't have what it needs, and this is also caused by, improper alignments, right? So blockages will be caused by, improper alignment with the spine. But misalignment, inflammation, malnutrition. If you address those three things, and inevitably the body will reverse age. It'll completely reverse age. And the three ways the way you know to gauge your health is exactly, Rooster, exactly. Is how you look, right? Is your outward appearance, the actual shape of your body, the way that you, your actual health numbers, right? That you can, say like these are healthy, like your blood pressure and those basic statistics, and then your actual ability to perform, right? Your performance, because you got to think at some point, when the tribes were first hanging out, right? They were out, farming or hunting or whatever. They had to move. As you got older, you could like get all frail, like we have the way we envision aging now. People don't realize that aging is actually a disease itself because the human body doesn't have to age like that.
Indeed.
Amazing. Well, in addition to that, I think I feel like we're changing the world. So hey, Dan, I don't got anything else.
All right, we're good. So thanks, Stewie, for joining. Oh, Andrew disappeared already. But thanks for joining in. I'm still looking for donations. Please, if you're interested in helping us stay on the front line, I'm focused on my rent right now. So I got Wi-Fi and electricity taken care of, and just this last little hump, and we'll be done for the month, and hopefully it's not next month. So,
no doubt.
All right. So donation details are down below.
I want to say thank you again, Dan. Thank you again. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, everyone on the live chat and everyone watching live, listening. Thank you, everyone. Thank you guys there in the US. The Trump government and whatever they are doing, and everything that they're doing to help the people, setting an example. Thank you, Kim and the team, and you guys are coming. I know I can feel that everything is almost coming together, and it's just like how Kim always put it. If everyone can play their role, of the role that is supposed to be here to play, the transition and it will come really, really fast, and there'll be a point where everything will move forward, and everything will make sense, and the change will start to be seen around us. Yeah, and anyways, thank you very much, everyone. everyone listening in the future. Much love and blessings from Fiji. Peace.
All right. Peace out from New York. Thanks a lot, Tui, Dan, Andrew, and everybody paying attention now and in the future.
All right, love and
Take it
blessings.
easy.
Love and
Fiji.
blessings from the Fiji.
I love Tui. I love him. Hallelujah.